Colonialism. The word colonialism and imperialism in postcolonial studies are often used interchangeably. The word colonialism, according to Oxford English Dictionary, comes from the Roman colonia, which meant farm or settlement, and referred to Romans who settled in other lands but still retained their citizenship. Accordingly, Oxford English Dictionary describes it as a settlement in a new country, a body of people who settle in a new locality, forming a community subject to or connected with their parent state. The community so formed, consisting of the original settlers and their descendants and successors, as long as the connection with the parent state is kept up. This definition quite remarkably avoids any reference to people other than the colonizers, people who might already have been living in those places where colonies were established. Colonialism was not an identical process in different parts of the world, but everywhere it locked the original inhabitants and the newcomers into the most complex and traumatic relationships in human history. Colonialism can be defined as the conquest and control of other people's land and goods. Marxist thinking on colonialism identifies important distinctions. Whereas earlier colonialisms were pre capitalist, modern colonialism was established alongside capitalism in Western Europe. Modern colonialism did more than extract tribute, goods, and wealth from the countries that it conquered. It restructured the economies of the colonized nations, drawing them into a complex relationship with their own, so that there was a flow of human and natural resources between colonized and colonial countries. This flow worked in both directions. Slaves and indentured labor, as well as raw materials, were transported to manufacture goods in the metropolis or in other locations for metropolitan consumption. But the colonies also provided captive markets for European goods. Thus, slaves were moved from Africa to the Americas, and in the West Indian plantations, they produced sugar for consumption in Europe, and raw cotton was moved from India to be manufactured into cloth in England, and then sold back to India, whose own cloth production suffered as a result. In whichever direction human beings and materials traveled, the profits always flowed back into the so-called mother country. European colonialisms involved a variety of techniques and patterns of domination, penetrating deep into some societies and involving a comparatively superficial contact with others. All of them produced the economic imbalance that was necessary for the growth of European capitalism and industry.